Would you look at this? Look at these cards. This week marks a very powerful pivot point for the Twin Flame Collective. We've got incoming energy, we've got movement, we've got rapid changes, we've got communication coming in, and this is connected to a brand new emotional beginning, one of healing, one of overflowing love within this connection. The masculine has a deep desire to reconnect with you, Divine Feminine. Are you going to be open to receiving this love, to receiving this connection? Because balance is being restored, truth is coming to light, karma is clearing, and the twin flame connection is moving into a greater phase of balance. Trust that these karmic cycles are ending and you have healed, Divine Feminine. Those inner wounds have healed and you are ready for this harmonious union. Hey, good morning. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. It is Laura, and we are going to talk about the energies coming in for the Twin Flame Collective for the week ahead. And let's face it, this journey is intense, it's unpredictable, and these energies right now are pushing us all to embrace this shift. And so whether this is directly influencing your connection or you're going through something internally, whether you're in separation or in union or kind of somewhere in between, this reading is hopefully going to bring us some clarity and some guidance. But let's dive into the astrology. We're going to go further with the cards. It will be time stamped down below, so if you want to skip ahead, go ahead and skip ahead, but you might miss out on some pretty important information with the astrology. I first want to touch base on the fact that Neptune did shift into Aries yesterday. How are you all feeling after that eclipse energy? I know I was receiving download after download after download all morning, Saturday morning on the weekend, and there was so much information coming in, connected to the twins, connecting to the energies coming in this week, and I am super excited to share that with you. So let's talk about that Neptune in Aries, because this is a major transition that is affecting the Twin Flame Collective. This is a significant shift. We've been in that Piscean energy forever, right? And it is emphasized with the Pisces energy, that connection to unconditional love. It is the energy of spiritual unity, right? Pisces is the end of the zodiac. It unites all of the signs. It carries with it a little bit of all of those zodiac signs. It is the merging energy. The Piscean energy is the merger. And it is the merging into that collective consciousness, that Pisces energy. But on the flip side of that merging, it does lead us down the pathway of codependencies. And that's where we're here to transcend the idealization of the journey itself, because we can't lose ourselves in a connection with the counterpart or with anybody. And so this shift into Aries, I do want to say, is a huge paradigm shift into independence, into sovereignty, to have that sovereignty within your personal autonomy and be in union with that counterpart. And so as Neptune moves further into Aries, we are all being called to develop our individual identities, right? Because we do have to maintain our individuality in this connection. That's a big part of the connection, the balancing of the energies with the desire of the union and that need for that personal sovereignty. And so this is a big wake-up call connected to no more idealizing the journey, no more idealizing the counterpart or this dynamic or looking at it as a fairy tale. Let's face it, this is the farthest thing from a fairy tale, this twin flame awakening journey. And so there's a very grounded energy coming through with Neptune and Aries, which is going to allow us the possibility to make physical unions possible. But the masculine does need to step up. He does need to take responsibility, and we both have to keep actively working through personal growth. This is a lifelong journey. And so how can you own your role in this union, right? Pisces taught us surrender. Aries is teaching us action. And so the shifting is it's like the shifting is about our focus, I want to say. We can't keep waiting for divine timing. We actually have to actively embody union of our authentic self. That merger is the merging of the inner masculine and feminine, that union of our authentic self. And so Unions are coming forward this year, but the unions that are going to be made manifest, they're going to be built on self-assertion. They're going to be built on personal boundaries, and they're going to be built on mutual respect. And so this is a big call, I feel, this week to embody your truth. And I do feel the twin flames in the collective that have balanced independence in this partnership or within their personal lives, they're going to find this transit incredibly empowering. It felt so empowering to work through that eclipse energy on the weekend. And I do feel this Neptune in Aries transit is really supporting union energy. But we first have to be rooted in self-love and mutual respect, because we do have a joint shared mission. It's not just romance. It's actually about mission. So let's talk about the energies coming in this week. I was sitting there. We got lots happening this week within the collective. It's big energies. So let's kick it off and talk about the energies coming through on Wednesday. That's the first time we have like a significant transit other than the moon transit. Wednesday, middle of the week, is when we have that first significant transit. And it is going to be Venus conjunct the North Node. So this is actually pretty significant. This is going to be the second transit of Venus conjunct the North Node due to the Venus retrograde. And so I really want to talk about that, because the energy of 3, this trifold sequency, I want to say blast off in the collective, is really significant in the energies this week. And so we're going into the second Venus conjunct North Node due to the retrograde. The first was back on March 27th, and it was at 29 degrees. And so there was a significant closing up of a cycle. And so we're in the second conjunction right now, and the third and final will take place on April the 20th. But this is going to be interesting because it's going to take place after Venus is stationed direct. It's going to be at 25 degrees. Big time Knight of Wands, Ace of Cups energy. And so we're kind of at the midway point of these conjunctions between Venus and the North Node. And we got to remember the North Node is our karmic pathway. The North Node in Pisces is actually a very karmic energy for the entire collective throughout all of these transits, especially for the twin flame journey. And so I do feel this is a very profound period. And the repetition of this aspect happening 3 times is so profound. It emphasizes growth. It emphasizes lessons, a lot of lessons connected to that Piscean theme and alignment. And so the 3 times, like why the 3 times? I gotta say it's not coincidence, because everything in my personal twin flame journey has happened in 3s. In spirituality and in numerology, number 3 is very significant. I'm actually a life path 3. 3 does symbolize the Holy Trinity. It does symbolize divine completion, and it reflects the fullness of a complete cycle, because we are here to unite our mind, our body, and our spirit before these connections can be grounded in our earthly reality. And so this is a huge sign of manifestation and growth, and we're progressing through these stages, right? From the past to the present and the future. And so because we're in that second conjunction, this is about the present energy before we can fully step into that future timeline. And so it's like a spiral, right? The journey really is a spiral. The power of spirals is pretty significant, right? Because life always does seem to unfold in patterns of 3. I had 2 ascensions on this journey. The first ascension happened back in 2021, and it began, the first ascension happened in actually between March and May of 2019, and my second ascension happened in 2021 around this exact time period in 2021. And so 3 is significant. And so we go through the spirals, 3 spirals unfold, and then we got to recognize the growth. We got to go through the revelations. We spiral upwards, we spiral downwards, and then we can move forward, right? But healing isn't linear. Healing does not create that straight line. We're always going to spiral back to things to understand them at a deeper level till we get to that 0 point, till we get to that non-polarity dynamic. And so these 3 conjunctions are loud. I want to talk about the first conjunction because it wasn't that long ago, right? It was just last week. And so the first conjunction was on March 27th. This brought forward visions, planning, communication. And so this marked a time, I want to say, of realization, clarity, where many of the twins probably did receive those sudden insights or messages about their path, or even messages from the counterpart. If not, it was just this big call for taking initiative and stepping into the future, stepping into leadership. And there was a huge focus, I want to say, on the divine masculine collective, connected to vocalizing his intentions. We're at that second conjunction, right? The day after April Fools. How convenient. And so this second conjunction is because it's retrograde, because it's retrograde energy, it's all about exploration. It's all about emotional mastery. And so this could bring forward some balanced communication. This is the second meeting where we're maybe ready to explore a new dynamic within this connection. There could be a sense of curiosity where the masculine is finally ready to take a risk. And I was shown the King of Cups. And so there is this emotional depth and emotional maturity connected to the divine masculine with this transit. And so divine feminine, focus on embracing your emotional intelligence while staying open to new experiences, right? There is union energy coming through, I have to say. And so because we're in the midway phase of these trifold sequences, we are encouraged to both communicate from a place of emotional stability while allowing each other's passions and aspirations to be expressed authentically. And so this really is a time, I feel, for those long overdue, honest, heartfelt conversations between the counterparts while we prepare for that final conjunction on April 20th, because that final conjunction is going to bring forward that passionate pursuit and that renewed emotional beginning. But there's a lot of sorting out here that needs to be done because of the lack of communication and the separation. And so after Venus stations direct, I want to say, and we go through that final conjunction, it is serving as that catalyst for action towards solidifying these unions. And so the energy really is pushing the divine masculine towards movement, towards love, towards this Ace of Cups. I was shown the Ace of Cups, towards this new emotional chapter of open-heartedness. And so there is this energy moving us towards reconciliation this year, or that new beginning. But we do each individually have to be deeply rooted in self-love. And we have to be rooted in that emotional clarity. We can't have that confusion. We can't have that Piscean Seven of Cups confusion. And so those of you that have aligned to your authentic self, that have aligned to your mission, you're going to be more secure in that deep knowing that union is coming. Those of you that are still working through patterns, this might trigger a catalyst moment for a deeper sense of transformation. And there might be a little bit more work to do there. There might be some more changes here that need to be embraced as you are guided forward towards the energy of empowerment before you can have that harmonious union. And so we're all on different waves, and none of us are ahead or behind. It is a journey of self. And so on Friday, April the 4th, that's when we have some more transits. We've actually got 3 big transits playing out on Friday this week. And we're going to have Mars sextile Uranus. We're going to have Mars trine Saturn. And this is going to be the 3rd Mars trine Saturn conjunction. Once again, that 3 energy really loud this week in the astrology. And then we're going to have Saturn in a sextile to Uranus. So Uranus is playing a role this week. Uranus is all about surprises. It's all about innovation. And there's big energy coming through on Friday connected to the karmic feminine and that illusion being shattered. So when I say karmic feminine, I can mean a lot of things with that. Divine feminine, look at yourself. Where are you still holding on to the karmic feminine shadow self that needs to be integrated? Where is your counterpart maybe holding on to an external karmic feminine energy, whether it's another lover or a mother or a sister, or dealing with his own internal karmic feminine energy? And so this can be playing out internally. It can also be playing out externally. So don't get too attached to an external karmic feminine energy. I just got to say, everything is karmic. Everything is seeking to be balanced out, and the twins do share a lot of karma between one another from all of the past lives that we have shared. And so this Mars trine Saturn energy is very significant for the twins because it is the third and final Mars trine Saturn shift. And it is deeply connected to the masculine and the Mars retrograde that we were working through. And so there's this theme coming through connected to stability and connected to commitment and long-term planning. And so I do feel this karmic feminine energy. It does feel like an external karmic feminine influence connected to the masculine that is trying to block or confuse the divine masculine's decisions, which is creating a sense, I want to say, of like a stalemate energy or like major indecision, right? Indecisiveness. And so I do feel we are on the precipice of that karmic closure though. And so this third trine does symbolize the closing of the karmic chapter, where the masculine must learn to assert his energy, his independence, and reject the manipulation. And so this is all about the divine masculine utilizing his free will in the energies this week. And so with Saturn sextile Uranus, this is where we break these old cycles that we've been repeating over and over again. This is where tradition meets innovation, right? And so we're integrating the past lessons, we're taking new approaches, and we are cutting through the illusions and the karmic patterns. And so the symbolism of the trifold sequence of the Mars-Saturn trines, I want to say, just like the previous Venus North Node conjunctions, the series of 3 trines holds a lot of significance this week, okay? And so the threefold pattern represents, once again, the past, the present, and the future. And there's going to be like an initiation or an initial challenge here that needs to be faced to enter the growth phase and to get to that final resolution. And so we're kind of in the spiral of mastery right now within the collective. And like I said, just as life unfolds in spirals, this final trine, I feel, is a huge indication that the masculine energy has been growing through these challenges throughout the Mars retrograde, and he's finally ready to step into his power despite that karmic influence. And so this holds a lot of significance, I want to say, for the twins this week. There is some type of an illusion, I do have to say, surrounding that karmic feminine energy. I do see it breaking down. I do. And so I do feel the masculine is regaining empowerment. There's a hidden truth, I want to say, being revealed about this karmic tie that is likely going to surface this week, which will force the masculine to see things exactly as they are. And I feel divine feminine, you're going to feel this sense of relief or validation as all of this truth comes to light. This is major, major union potential, but the illusion has to be shattered first, and then we can go towards that pathway of union. It will become clearer and clearer the further Mars gets out of that post-retrograde energy. And so the masculine needs to regain his autonomy and his emotional clarity. And so this karmic feminine influence, I gotta say, I was shown this Queen of Wands reversed energy with the Two of Swords. So there is a very distorted feminine energy here that is very active, trying to keep the masculine stuck, trying to keep him conflicted and unable to move forward. And that truth is coming to light. It really is. I do see the masculine seeing this clearly and breaking free, but he's going to have to confront that pattern and why he chose the lies over the truth, and why he chose fear and manipulation over authenticity, over the divine feminine. And so we close off the week on Sunday with the Sun sextile Jupiter at 16 degrees. We have Venus in a trine to Mars. And we also have, what else do we have? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. But this is the second Venus trine Mars transit too. So once again, we're back to that energy of 3. The first was on January 25th at 22 degrees. We're in the second one right now. And then the final Venus trine Mars transit will take place after both Venus and Mars have completed their retrogrades, and Venus moves back into Aries and Mars moves back into Leo. So the third and final trine isn't going to take place until May 22nd at 15 degrees. And so I feel we're in a union portal. Anything can happen between now and Gemini season, I want to say. And so we're in this portal of expansion. We're in this portal of breakthroughs. And I do feel there's going to be sudden change. There's going to be something here that comes in to clear the path towards emotional fulfillment. And so we're kind of clearing the air this week. And so we're in this window of truth. We're in this window of clarity so we can see past the old patterns and the illusions, both of the counterparts, right? And so this union potential is what is bringing the divine masculine, I want to say, to this realization of what is truly going to bring them emotional fulfillment. And divine feminine, you're going to have that renewed sense of hope. I'm already feeling it. You're going to have this renewed sense of trust in the journey, especially when you sense that feeling that the masculine is breaking free from that karmic restraint or that karmic contract, whatever that is, whether it's a person, a place, or a thing. And so the message was strong. We're in the energy of a positive new timeline. And so we are moving closer and closer and closer to that reconciliation and that union energy. Let's talk about the Venus trine Mars, because this energy is creating harmony between the masculine and the feminine. Trines are very harmonious energies. They bring passion, they bring balance, they bring connection. And we're kind of moving towards what feels right, is what I want to say. And so there's a passionate pursuit coming forward towards a goal this week. There's bold action, there's momentum building, and we're looking ahead. We're no longer looking back. We're looking ahead. We've got this anticipation building. I've been feeling this building for a while. And so this trifold pattern really is symbolizing, the first trine was the spark, was the passion, was the Ace of Wands energy, was the energy of taking a leap of faith. The second one taking place this week is gaining momentum, moving forward, moving towards a manifestation. And the final one, after all of the retrogrades, will be about finalizing these unions and moving them forward confidently. And so I do feel this is significant. I know there was a lot to unpack this week. Hopefully you're still here with me. But the masculine is learning to feel more confident. He's learning to feel more driven to take action towards the feminine, realizing that that is their true heart's desire that lies within them. Feminine, I think you're feeling more secure in the foundation of self that you have built. You're probably feeling more optimistic, the most optimistic you've probably felt this entire journey. There's this anticipation I feel building for the feminine in the energies. And this does reflect that merger, that union energy, where the twins are both aligned in purpose and intention. And so the message was loud. The action-oriented energy of Mars is complementing the love-focused Venus energy, where both of us are starting to move in sync with one another, despite any past challenges and despite any challenges that we're going to have to face in the energies this week. And so we are in a week, I want to say, of weaving things together. We're in a week of breaking karmic patterns especially regarding the divine masculine's awakening and him reclaiming his personal autonomy. And I just feel this is a week, I want to say, of like a major turning point. The karmic energies are loud, though. They are revealing, and we are releasing those burdens of the past. And so it's like the masculine is finally emerging from the fog or the illusion. He's ready to act decisively, working through his fear. And the feminine, I just feel, is in this space of holding love and faith and sensing that things are finally shifting. I know it's been a long, long journey for me. I've been on the journey since 2019 in separation. I met my counterpart in early 2018. And so it's been a long 7-year cycle that finally feels like it's wrapping up. I finally feel no longer weighed down by the journey or the pulling. There's no pulling energy. It's just clear. And I do feel that karmic interference has been cleared for my own personal journey. I'm hoping you're feeling that too, Divine Feminine. Let me know down below if you're feeling that shift. But I do feel this is a week of moving towards unions. I do feel this is a week of karmic culmination where we are shedding it all and stepping into truth. And so that energy of 3 is so significant. Even if there's challenges this week, I want to say we are spiraling upward. We are grounding in 5D earth and above. We're tapping into that higher consciousness, that higher understanding. We're aligning it here as we approach the energies going into May. The next couple of months are huge. And so just embrace the journey with an open heart, I want to say. And so if you are curious about the twin flame journey and you are feeling stuck, or you're being called to understand the journey a little bit better, I do have a 22-page twin flame ebook that I've posted on my webpage. If you would like to understand the twin flame stages and journey and how to navigate them like a pro, message me down below in the comments and say twin flame guide, and I will send you this powerful guide. I will send it to you. Just let me know down in the comments. But we are going to go further into this message with some cards. So stick around because these energies are loud. Let's talk about these cards. Holy cow, what a powerful, powerful reading. Once again, coming through for the Twin Flame Collective. I do want to quickly touch base on the cards on the cut. If you remember the cards on the cut with the Oracle deck, we did get the chemistry card, and we also got that open heart card. And so I just feel right now there is such a powerful pull between the divine masculine towards the divine feminine, where the feminine kind of, I want to say, reigns in the counterpart, but it's going to require an open heart, divine feminine. Your energy needs to be in a place of openness, of readiness to receive this love. You've got to let that guard down, and you've got to move past all of the wounding, the betrayal, the pain within this connection. You've got to move past the fear. I do feel with the cards on the cut with the tarot being the World and the Empress, divine feminine, you are completing a major cycle, and empowerment is the theme for you this week. As I talked about in the astrology, I love when the cards come through and just tie it all together with that clarification. And so you are closing a significant chapter in your life. Something here has come to an end for you, divine feminine, connected to patterns, wounding, fears, anything that has kept you, divine feminine, in the energy stuck in a cycle of pain and rejection. It's all done. It's being released. You are rising in your divine feminine power, in your beauty and your creative potential. This is beautiful. It's not just this karmic closure, but it's the culmination of all of the intense shadow work that you have been doing, that you have been committed to doing by healing that inner wounded feminine energy. And when we do that, divine feminine, we create that ripple effect, and it does impact the masculine energies as well. And so for the energies this week, I gotta say, divine feminine, it feels like you have healed your shadow It feels like you have fully stepped into your Empress energy, which is creating this major shift that is occurring between the twins this week. And the masculine feels your energetic upgrade, which is triggering this desire to pursue you, to reconnect with you, to express his emotions. And so I just want to say this could manifest as unexpected communication. He is drawn back to you like a magnet, is what I want to say this week. And so he too is initiating a phase of closing out a cycle as you vibrate at a higher frequency and his frequency rises to match that healed inner feminine energy that you are carrying. This is where both of the twins can really see how far they have come and recognize that like, hey, no longer being held back by that old cycle, no longer being held back by just all of the pain. And so I just feel there is a need for honest vulnerability. And I do want to talk about the bonus cards, because if you remember on the cuts when I was shuffling, 2 cards fell out of each deck, and it was just like so synchronistic, so divinely magical. And we did get the Divine Masculine card and the Tower card, very similar energies to the last message that I channeled for the twins. And so I do feel these bonus cards represent sudden changes, revelations. I do feel the Divine Masculine is definitely experiencing dramatic upheaval on his path, which is bringing him to a breakthrough moment as all of these old ways of thinking, all of those old cycles are closing out for him so he can make way for truth and authenticity to emerge. And so I just feel the masculine is being pushed by the universe, because this is a universal card, to take that action, to assert his truth, to break free from anything that's been holding him back. And the Tower is saying that breaking down of all of those limiting beliefs and outdated dynamics are done. And this is connected to that Mars energy that's playing out. So let's get into the runes and let's get into the oracle messages. We are going to start off with the Divine Masculine today, and we got that curved arrow card. And so we got the curved arrow, we got the commitment. This symbolizes returning to something. This is going back to what was left behind and reconsidering that past choice. And I do feel the masculine is revisiting this connection. He's definitely recognizing that mistake that he made, and he is feeling pulled back towards his counterpart. And so the rune does speak of a second chance. It speaks of a change of heart, where the masculine is definitely in this energy, I want to say, of reconsidering past decisions and realizing that his path is always going to lead back to his counterpart. And with the accompanying oracle card of commitment, this is marriage, this is fidelity, this is the masculine thinking about long-term commitment and loyalty. He is being guided to reaffirm his devotion to you, to confront his fears around commitment and vulnerability and loyalty. And so I do feel this is manifesting this week for the masculine as a deep desire to rekindle the connection, to maybe offer something to the feminine. It very well could be a higher level of commitment. It can be an engagement. I don't know your personal situation. You'll know better. But this really is an open discussion, I want to say, this week about commitment. Divine Feminine. I love this. You got the North Node. You've got the North Node rune, which is beautifully connected to all of the North Node destiny points happening. And we get the possibilities card. And this, for me, I always feel like ascension. It is a free-falling, free-spirited, adventurous energy. And so I just feel you are finally fully moving forward. You're at that point of destiny. You're at that point of purpose. You are moving forward. You are stepping into your soul's mission. You are moving beyond the past wounds. It feels like you are finally ready to fully embrace your path, to fully embrace authenticity. You are moving into this willingness, I want to say, to take a risk. You sense that new adventure approaching, and so you are open to new possibilities, new opportunities. You're no longer afraid to explore these uncharted territories within yourself and within your journey. And when it's connected to the masculine, I do feel as you embody trust and surrender and move forward, it's this energy of like, you're not waiting around anymore. You're not waiting around. You're creating your own reality, and you're just allowing the universe to guide you forward, is what I want to say. You're allowing the universe to just bring you towards new experiences, new connections. And let me tell you, the counterpart is feeling that disconnect. And then let's talk about the combined energies. I love that the broom came out. I love that the broom rune came out, and it was connected to the cloudy judgment. So I'm glad these two kind of came out together, because the broom energy signifies cleaning something up, sweeping away the karma, clearing away the debris, clearing away the cloudy judgment, clearing away the illusions, the unbalanced energies, and the distortion. And so this does also hold with it the energy of the South Node in Virgo, connected to the dragon's tail, which is a sweeping energy. It's a sweeping away of all of this distortion. And so if there is still a sense of lingering confusion this week, or unbalanced emotions stemming from these old wounds or perceptions, the broom is clearing this away. This is a clear indication of sweeping up the karmic cycles. And I do feel related to the feminine wounding and the distorted energies that really have clouded this connection. And I do think the twins are both being guided this week to step into their mission, right? The broom for me represents mission work. So we're going to go into this spread. Let me get these cards out of the way, and let's talk about these energies that came through, because like, holy moly, this is loud. These are loud. They're all upright. Everything came out upright today. The bottom of the deck speaks volumes as to what's going on behind the scenes with the masculine getting ready to communicate that truth after a period of healing, after a period, I want to say, of getting honest with himself. Once again, that confession energy. And then we get the Mars and Leo coming through. And so there is a lot of healing, I want to say, going on in the background that you probably don't see happening, Divine Feminine, in your physical reality. But we are at a powerful turning point. So let's talk about this energy in the top row today. And so we get the Eight of Wands, we get the Ace of Cups, and we get the Justice card. So the Eight of Wands does signify rapid movement. This is rapid movement. This is divinely guided changes. There's communication, there's messages, there's breakthroughs, there's messages coming in fast, not only from spirit, but I feel this is particularly connected to the divine masculine as he undergoes that tower moment. I think spiritual revelations, spiritual realizations are coming through, and there could be unexpected communication coming in very quickly from the masculine side towards the feminine. Ace of Cups, like, it doesn't get any better than that, does it? This is that brand new emotional beginning. Healing. Healing can finally begin. It is the energy of love overflowing. This does actually reflect the masculine's desire to reconnect after all of the inner turmoil. And this does also reflect the feminine's openness, I want to say, to receive that love, to align with that heart opening, that open heart, and the Justice card, right? This is all about balance. And we just went through that eclipse portal, which was that final cleanup connected to the North Node in Aries, the South Node in Libra. And so there is a clearing up of karma. Truth is being restored. Justice is playing out. This connection is moving into a place of greater balance as all of these cycles are cleared, as we heal these wounds, and together I feel we are moving towards alignment. There's a lot of swift changes happening this week, right? And so the middle row, I just love, we get ace, 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 and then we get the Palace of Swords. And so we kind of got all four aces out, because I do consider this Palace of Swords like the Ace of Swords on steroids. So all of the illusions, all of the hidden things below the surface, they are coming out with a vengeance. There's no more confusion. So let's break it down with this middle row. We get the Ace of Wands, we get the Three of Coins, and we get the Four of Cups. Not the greatest card, but there is that sense of discontent or the missed opportunity. And so I just want to warn both of the counterparts. We cannot focus too much on the past. We can't focus on fearing rejection. So this is an indication, I want to say, where both twins probably feel a little bit hesitant or unsure about moving forward together. And I just think that's connected to the inner fears more so than the actual situation of union manifesting, right? Because this Ace of Wands, I want to say, is that new passion, that spark, that desire to take action. This is that newfound motivation to pursue the connection, to pursue this renewed energy, washing over the collective with the Aries energy coming through. And this is also the feminine, I feel, in that portal of being creatively inspired, flowing freely on your adventurous, co-creative path. And I love that the central energy is the Three of Coins. This is collaboration. This is teamwork. And I do think the twins are going to work very hard over the next several years to build together, to work together in their mission and in rebuilding the connection. This is going to take time, but both of the twins are encouraged to co-create, to support each other's growth, and to move past the fear or the uncertainty of that Four of Cups. And so I just want to highlight the importance here of the inspired action rather than the fears of rejection. And you know what? Who doesn't have fears of rejection? That's all due to that inner child wounding that we've been working on healing in the separation stage. So don't let the past disappointments hold you back, okay? Because there's like really good energy coming through for the week ahead. So let's talk about the bottom row. The High Priestess, the Six of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. And this is the last card. And so this is where we're headed, right? We're headed towards that new tangible beginning. We're headed towards a solid opportunity to build something together, long lasting, because when the ace is presented, this is like a gifty. This could be an inheritance. This could be a windfall. But ultimately, this is the twins building that Ten of Pentacles, building that legacy together through commitment, through collaboration. I'm getting chills head to toe as I say this. And so this is about building something together that will grow, that we can pass down throughout the generations, that they can keep developing over time. And so what a beautiful confirmation. And so secrets being revealed, spiritual wisdom being revealed. I want to say, Divine Feminine, you are so tapped into your inner knowing. You're seeing through the illusions. You are guiding this connection back together with your grace and your gifts. And so you're sensing that these truths are being unveiled. You are aligning with that breakdown of what I talked about earlier. So you feel that breakdown of that karmic feminine energy. And the Six of Swords really is moving away from conflict, moving away from self-sabotaging patterns and behaviors, and finally finding peace. And so what a beautiful combination of cards that came out for the week ahead. I just feel the twins are entering a brand new cycle. So let's talk about this root energy. They want me to get to the root, the root of the message, which is the bottom of the deck today, okay? And so we did get the Seven of Wands to the Seven of Swords. And so there is a big shift, I feel, connected to the 7-7 portal. I do believe that's coming in. That would be July. There's probably going to be a shift around July as well as we ground in these spiritual teaching roles. We do have the Mars and Leo. And so that's coming in around May, that third trine that I talked about. And then we get this Seven of Swords. And so this is all about standing our ground. It's like the energy of both of the twins, especially the masculine, is determined to defend his progress, is determined to persevere through all of these external influences that have been disturbing the path and preventing him from moving forward. And so there is a need to face deception. There is a need to bring forward all of the hidden motivations. And there is still like a lingering illusion that I feel the masculine needs to overcome. But I think he's becoming more strategic. He's becoming more discerning. And he is in that deep energy of the heart healing. If you remember in the last reading, I think it was the last reading, the tower was connected to the heart chakra, or a couple readings ago. I'll have to go through and I'll tag it to the end of this video. But I feel this is where the integration takes place after all of the intensity of the eclipse energies and Neptune moving into Aries. This is the masculine resting and reflecting and healing and integrating and recuperating. And so the King of Swords is clarity and truth. And so the masculine, I want to say, is receiving downloads. He's stepping into his intellectual power, and he's finally getting ready and willing to speak that truth. And so it's the truth, all right. It's the whole truth and nothing but the truth that's coming out, because further than that, we got the Palace of Swords, and we got the Knight of Pentacles. And so slow and steady progress, right? Slow and steady wins the race. And so this is creating the space for that mental clarity, for that direct communication. The energy is encouraging both of the twins to speak openly and honestly this week. And the Knight of Pentacles is saying, although it feels like everything here is moving fast, this is saying slow and steady, right? This is all about long-term progress, long-term goals. And maybe everything is going to move fast this week, but this is all about the gradual long-term consistency of the commitment, because further on the bottom of the deck, we did get the Faith card. And if you remember, on the bottom of the Oracle deck, we did get the Peace card. And so this is all about creating that balance and that harmony and building that friendship first, right? The twins aren't going to just jump right into a commitment, but I do think the path is being woven. I do think this is the energy of coming full circle. And I do feel there's a lot of spiritual guidance this week. Bring the twins together, guiding them towards, I want to say, their higher purpose, and emphasizing that no matter what is going on externally, this journey is divinely orchestrated. It is divinely guided. And so this week really does, I want to say, mark a very powerful shift. It definitely marks a powerful shift where the divine masculine is breaking free, taking action, reclaiming his path. And I just feel the feminine is embracing this new, stronger than ever empowerment. And there's just going to be a lot of new incoming energies, new opportunities for connection and for mission work. So let's close this reading off and let's get a divine doorway card. What do you got for us, Spirit? What doorway, what divine doorway are the twins walking through for the week ahead? Palmistry. Interesting. Fortune and Tarot, collective destiny. The card does speak of collective destiny. And so that's where the twins are headed towards, this sacred journey of the collective destiny, from the birthing process to the grounding in. So really listen to your intuition this week. And then we get the doorway of the offering. And so we are headed towards abundance if the heart allows us. And so there's going to be more shared than you've ever experienced within this connection. This is the energy of love coming back around this week. So what a beautiful message. Let me know down below where you're at on the journey. Let me know down below if you would like that twin flame guide. I also do have a free guide if you would like to learn the basics of your birth chart to see how these energies might be affecting you personally. And if you'd like to go further with a twin flame reading, then check out the webpage link below. I would love to get that booked in for you. Have a great week ahead, everybody, and I will see you all again next time.